Good afternoon, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. I have been thinking this like since yesterday. I feel like it is so much later in the week than it really is, because I keep thinking like, oh, like Saturday's the 4th of July, and having to get stuff ready and stuff like that, and I keep feeling like it's actually way closer, like it's creeping up on me, because I'm like, okay, well, we'll probably have to go to the grocery stores on Friday because my dad's gonna be home on Friday, so we'll probably go in the morning. So like that was my thought, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, Friday's tomorrow, and I'm like, wait, no, it's not. Today's Tuesday. I have 2 more days, and maybe we might go to like a couple of the stores on Thursday night and then go on Friday in the morning to the other more busy ones. But I'm thinking like, my thing is that I really don't like holiday shopping like the day before, and it felt kind of weird for 4th of July because it was on a Saturday. Normally we go to the grocery stores on Saturday or like Friday night. So again, Friday in the morning shouldn't be too bad, but I'm thinking that like other people too might have off on Friday, so they're gonna do their grocery shopping then on Friday morning, and try and beat the rush and everything like that, because like, I mean, my mom actually got a bunch of stuff to do some cooking things and stuff like that, and now they're just like 4th of July stuff. So this is actually the first time that Matthew's girlfriend will be over since we went in lockdown. I actually think the last time she was over was like the weekend we went out for Matthew's birthday, which was after the 3rd of March, like that weekend right after the 3rd. I think it was maybe the 14th or something like that, or 13th or something of March. It has been some time now that she has not been over, and on top of that too, the other main reason has been because we have been obviously remodeling the house, and 2 rooms plus we're doing outside all at the same time. So that would be why, it's not appropriate to have guests over in a construction zone. But as you guys saw, we have been finishing up slowly with the projects. I actually today, my big project, which is always my big Tuesday project, is to clean the bathroom. Cleaning the bathroom is not that bad. The one part I cannot stand is cleaning the shower. Like everything else is normally pretty easy, but cleaning the shower, I am just like, I get exhausted from having to get in the shower and scrubbing the whole thing, and stuff like that. Whereas like, if I'm washing the sink, like I feel like it's easier. Sort of wax on, wax off sort of thing. And then when I'm scrubbing though the shower, it's like, I don't know, and I get in there and just like go to town on the whole shower and tub combo thing. So like I said, it's kind of exhausting, but that has to be the one thing that tires me out the most while I am cleaning, and like makes it just feel like it takes forever, and it just is like, I hate doing it. So it's like the worst part. It makes it just like, like I said, take longer and just leaves me exhausted afterwards. Whereas with cleaning the rest of the bathroom, like I could clean the whole bathroom twice without doing the shower and tub, and I wouldn't be as tired as just doing the shower and tub. So yeah, like I said, that is why I'm like, Tuesday, like I said, is normally my big day for doing kitchen stuff or bathroom stuff. And I made my freezer dinners yesterday, which I was in comfy shoes, so I wasn't sore or anything like that. When I'm standing, like cutting things up, like normally when I do a big batch of freezer dinners and stuff like that, from standing at the counter, I think it's honestly because I am a little bit shorter. When I do it at the kitchen table, which is a couple inches shorter, I normally don't have any problems. But when I'm standing at the kitchen counters, then I normally wind up having problems. I think it's just because, like, if I'm cutting into something or using the countertop or whatever, I think it's just not the right height for me. So like I said, if I use the table, I'm fine. But I was, again, doing all my freezer cooking yesterday, but I was in comfy shoes. So like my shoulders, normally like my shoulders will start to hurt after a period of time. Again, I think it's from like cutting and stuff like that. Which I didn't have a whole ton of stuff, I guess, to cut up yesterday, but I think it's just like 2 from being on my feet and stuff like that. So I wore my comfy gym shoes and was totally fine. No problems yesterday. But that was, again, took a big like 2-hour chunk out of my day. So, and then today cleaning the bathroom takes me about, I don't know, and it could be anywhere from a half an hour to about an hour. Today, that was my big project. What I ended up doing though was I got, because I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tell no, because that door is actually open right now. But our, oh, well, I guess you guys can see actually on this one, we have got, the old hardware is still in this cabinet. I don't know who put it back on because we're gonna have to fill it and actually repaint it. So these have got handles on there. I believe my mom is getting knobs for the cabinets. Possibly, maybe these ones will have handles. I don't know. She might do a mix and match sort of thing. She hasn't found any that she's liked yet. But for the other ones, like for example, this one up here, we filled in one of the holes, which I don't know if you guys can really tell, that hole's right there. And then we filled it in so it just has one, so that we can do, again, the, sorry guys as I squeeze my way out of the refrigerator that's here, but that they'll just be knobs instead of handles. So obviously there's one hole instead of two. If you're doing a handle, there's two holes. So we've had to fill it in with like wood putty sort of stuff, I guess, or like wood filler, and then we sand them and everything like that. So basically today, for the other 3 cabinets and the one of the drawers, I ended up doing that. I sanded them down. It just makes it easier because like the wood, I think, has sort of like a varnish or finish, something like that sort of on it. So I sand it down. It makes it easier for the primer to stick, and then we paint it. So I ended up doing that today. I filled, like I said, in those holes and then sanded down the whole thing too, because obviously too, like when you use spackle or putty, like wood fill or whatever, it makes it so that it sticks out more. So it's easier to like go over it with the sander and stuff like that, and then it smooths it out and levels it out as well, so we don't have like these goopy blobs that look like all over the cabinet doors. So I did that today as well with, again, the ones that are over here. Those were the ones I had to do. So this one, that one, and that one I filled in the holes for and then sanded them, along with not the shorter ones but the bigger cabinet that's down there, or drawer that's down there, I also did. But we can only have, because we still have 3 more cabinets down here plus these 2 short drawers that have to be done. But we only have like one sawhorse set, so we can't set up really like anything else. And because too, like yesterday it thunderstormed, we can't do anything out in the yard, and we don't have anything else that we don't care if it gets paint on or whatever to leave on there. And if we try and put newspaper down, it just sticks and winds up getting all over it. So we just do it like lay them on the sawhorses, and nobody cares what those look like. They have drips and drops of paint all over them, but we only have a set. So again, we have to do them kind of in parts. So like my dad got those other 3 up and done, and then again we're doing these 3 and then 1 drawer, and then we're going to do the other 3 and the other 2 drawers as well. So that's, honestly, don't know if it's going to be done by the 4th of July at the rate it's going, because they have been sitting out there on the sawhorse and nobody's touched them in like, I think 2 or 3 days or something like that. I think since over the weekend. And I was like, okay, that's it. If nobody's gonna do it, I'm just gonna go and do it. But my dad's back has like been hurting. He had to go to the chiropractor today. Yeah, he wasn't able to do it, and I was like, okay, well, if I can at least get to this part, which I know how to use the sander and I know how to, again, use the spackle stuff, wood filler thing. And so I was like, okay, I'll just do this, and you know, then somebody tomorrow can hopefully come and prime and paint them. So yeah, maybe that'll be Jack's job, but he's also got to mow the lawn, and I think Matthew's supposed to weed whack. So there's a bunch of like last minute project things and stuff like that we're actually trying to get to and finish like sort of before the 4th of July, which again would be one of the reasons why the refrigerator's pulled out. But we gotta try and make sure it's done before the 4th of July. Especially I'd like it to be done before probably the 3rd or even the 2nd of July, just because we want to do some prep normally the day before without, you know, having to try and make everything on the 4th of July. Like, as much as you can do, like my mom has got some dessert stuff that can probably be made ahead of time and kept in the fridge, instead of trying to have, you know, 4 people cooking in the kitchen, doing stuff in the kitchen and stuff like that all at the same time, all for, you know, stuff that needs to be made, you know, all at the same time to eat. Instead, it's just like, okay, we can warm this up or make this or whatever. Since we have a lovely new stove, we've got a ton of room too if there's stuff we want to throw in there. But yeah, guys, there's, like I said, just sort of what is going on. But I'm, like I said, happy I at least got to that part. Now I kind of leave it up to somebody else, because honestly I haven't done really any painting or priming or anything like that. That's really been sort of my dad, Matthew, and Jack sort of job. But I have like done almost everything else. Pulled up a big portion of the tiles. Matthew pulled up some too, but I pulled up like most of them, but not the hallway stuff. My dad did everything in the hallway. And then like doing all the electric and pretty much my mom's office, other than again the painting portion, me and my dad pretty much ended up working on that together. But again, I helped my dad with doing all the electric stuff in here and stuff like that as well. Like Matthew and Jack have just been sort of promoted to doing, or demoted to just doing regular like painting and stuff like that. I mean, if they wanted to come and help, that'd be awesome if they want to, but I think it's just easier for them to kind of just do mindless painting and get it done. So that's what they've been working on. But tomorrow I would like to sort of, if it's not thunderstorming or raining, because it looked like it was going to super late in the afternoon today, like real late, but most of the day today it was totally fine. But I'd like to get outside and maybe do just a little bit of gardening through a couple of the beds. Honestly, me and Jack just did it a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like there's hardly anything in them, but I just want to kind of go through a little bit. I actually took pictures today from the garden, and I was like, honestly, there's like almost nothing in the flower beds, like weed wise, that I really needed to do. But again, if we're going to be spending time outside for the 4th of July and stuff like that, I just want the beds to look really nice and pretty and stuff like that. Try and get to that tomorrow if we can. If not, like I said, it's not a huge big deal if we can't get it done before the 4th of July, but it might just be something that again want to get to soon. It was weird because I think honestly like 3 years ago when we first like got the beds back under control, because they were just totally overrun, I honestly think that I had to do it almost every like other weekend. I was outside like re-weeding the beds just because of there were so many weeds that were just like consistent, and then we got them out, and now they're just sort of is basically just mainly like the stuff that kind of blows from off the grass and stuff like that, or just blows in there, and probably seeds itself. I don't think it's anything that's like, you know, been growing there for years and years, and keeps coming back. I think most of the stuff is out of there, and honestly I think if we were to put mulch down, we probably wouldn't have any weeds at all right now. The problem is that, well, I guess there isn't a problem. We could totally do it. We just haven't. We did the vegetable gardens first, but I think that if we wanted to, we could. It was just like, I don't know, my dad's like, well, we should figure out what kind of color we want and stuff like that. And I'm like, honestly, we just need to get some to cover it over. Like, it's more of, for me, it's more of a maintenance thing than it is like, you know, an aesthetic thing. Like, you know, oh, let's get the kind that looks pretty and stuff like that. Instead, I'm just like, no, let's just get the kind that works. You know, it doesn't really matter to me. So like mulch kind of stuff and things like that. But my dad's like, oh, let's get, you know, this cool black kind, or, you know, let's get the, you know, fiery red. And I'm like, no, let's just get like a normal wood that doesn't, you know, like as natural as possible and stuff like that, which is what we used in the vegetable gardens, and so that's why I was like, let's just go with like the same stuff that's in there. So that's what I'm thinking we will probably do, and it that way it all matches too. But I think that would keep out a lot of the weeds as they are. And the other thing too is that now I'm thinking about it, I really think that it will help to keep out the grass that keeps trying to creep in from like the side, because we didn't put up a like divider for the beds. There used to be one there. Oh, well, I guess in a couple of them there were, and yeah, long story. We basically just use like rocks for like sort of like the garden wall, which has worked pretty well. But again, there's especially Creeping Charlie. The grass isn't too bad, but there's really bad Creeping Charlie, and it likes to get in there. And I'm thinking if we put mulch down, it might actually help keep it away, or deter it possibly, at least so that it can't then root itself in the flower bed and then keep going, because I had that big problem this year. That was honestly probably the worst of the weeds that I had, and that comes from the grass, and it just like, you know, vines its way sort of into, you know, over the rocks or under them possibly as well, and then just, I think it mainly goes over, but then just sort of like, you know, implants itself in the garden, and then kind of just keeps going and then to the next spot. And over by our burning bush was the worst, but that's really what seems like it's been actually the worst weed wise so far this year, and I've only weeded the flower beds once. So that is, I would say, definitely a success. And again, if we did wind up actually getting mulch, that would probably be like no having to weed at all, pretty much, because they are all, and on top of that too, so many of the plants are mature because they're about, this will be their 3rd summer now. So I think that they're pretty mature to the point where they have sort of taken over and don't let a whole ton of weeds grow in those places, which is pretty cool. You know, just if there's flowers there, obviously the weeds are gonna sometimes try to still get in with the flowers, but for the most part the flowers are more mature, and so they kind of just, you know, like crowd them out. And I noticed that especially with our like lilies, they have been doing so great. The ones especially in between, like it's the flower bed between ours and our neighbor's driveway, that used to be just horrible because like the soil was just kind of rocky from like the what's it called, the driveways and stuff like that, and so like it wasn't the best soil conditions and stuff like that, and it just weeds almost all the time. And this year they've been blooming beautifully, and there have been very few weeds that have been growing in there as well. So that's another good thing, is that they have been sort of crowding everything out, and I love the way they look. They're like nice and tall and stuff like that, and like right in between the driveways. I'm kind of wondering and hoping maybe that they will keep moving down, because there's like hostas and which used to be there back when we had a tree that could shade them from the sun. Now that there isn't, all the hostas just kind of like dry up and crinkle up and stuff like that. So I'm thinking if we just tried to like implant like some of the lilies maybe in between the hostas, it would actually maybe shade them enough that they wouldn't look all crinkly and dried up and stuff like that, which would be nice. But again, I'll have to look into that, and that might be a job for later in the summer. There's so much projects, guys. There's so much stuff to get done. There's a refrigerator sitting in the kitchen, in the middle of the kitchen, not just in the kitchen, in the middle of the kitchen. So definitely have some stuff that we have to get done. But I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.